The owner of our riad actually told us, if you want to go down the narrow roads, come back out the exact same way you went in. Otherwise, you're finished.
That was a direct quote. You're finished. No fear, because our guest house host drew us a paper map.
I don't see how this could go wrong. Jess, please tell me why you know we aren't lost.
I recognize those olives back there. Maybe it was a different olive stall I was remembering.
Welcome to Waypoint of View. We're Jess and Miles, and we're 2 years into our journey around the world. We have just made it to a new city as we continue to explore one of the most dynamic countries we have visited yet.
Welcome back to Morocco. We are here in Fez, one of the most exciting cities in the entire country, and we're getting started this morning in the Medina. It's about 9 a.m., so things are just now coming to life. And this is not just any Medina. This is the largest urban pedestrian zone in the world. It is a huge maze of narrow streets. We are talking over 9,000 streets here.
So we're going to be doing a lot of walking today, and there's really only one thing that's certain, and that's that we are definitely going to get lost today. But that's okay, it's really just part of the experience, and since it's virtually guaranteed, we haven't really gone to the trouble of making too much of a plan. But there is a lot to see, so let's get started. We're taking advantage of it still being pretty quiet here this morning, and we've stopped at one of the madrasas, which is basically the name for any kind of school here.
And this is one of the things that I'm loving the most about Morocco, and that is the incredibly beautiful architecture. I mean, you have these buildings that are pretty plain from the outside, but then you come in and there's this big open courtyard with all these mosaic tiles and bright colors and intricate details. It really is unbelievably beautiful.
It's probably the most beautiful architecture that we've seen, at least the most detailed.
Yeah, I would say so.
It's incredible.
Maybe even most beautiful. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
I'm losing you.
Look at that. Look at that.
Each one of these is an individual piece of tile.
So we've been talking about the Medina, which essentially just translates to town or city in Arabic. And in Morocco, it's typically referring to the old part of town.
The Medina here in Fez is roughly 1,200 years old, and still today there are about 90,000 people that live here, and it honestly just feels like one giant market. There's a lot going on here.
This is the biggest backpack I have ever seen.
That's about the size of your current backpack.
You could fit in here. How's it look?
Looking great, baby. You're ready for Instagram. Will you walk away from me? Just like slow-mo? Let me put it in slow-mo. We started with taking pictures of rugs outside. And now we're leaving with a blanket. I have no idea where it's gonna go.
We don't shop at all or buy souvenirs.
That's the first thing we've purchased in years. These guys are good.
So we have seen ceramics, carpets, blankets, woodworking,
and just about everything else in between.
But now we are heading to probably what I am most excited to see here in Fez, and that is one of the leather tanneries.
If we can find it. I'm pretty sure we're lost.
We can tell we're getting close because we're starting to smell it. We have come to one of the 3 leather tanneries here, and this one is actually the oldest and largest in Fez. And we're up on the terrace of one of the leather shops, and you can see the whole process happening down below. This is truly fascinating.
the manager of the shop was trying to explain the different steps of the process. There are all kinds of different tanks here. The white ones are the ones with the pigeon poop and the cow pee that smell so bad, where the skins are fermented first. Then from there, they're taken into the different pools of natural dye, and there's all kinds of different colors here.
You have red from poppy and black from charcoal. He said orange from henna.
The yellows from saffron, they don't actually have tanks of the yellow. That's done by hand, which is really cool. But this is unbelievable.
It really is.
There are a lot of leather shops that have terraces that overlook this. This might be the best view.
Yeah, this is a really incredible view. There are probably 40 or 50 guys working down there.
And you get used to the smell pretty quickly.
I mean, it's still not great, but it's not as bad as I was expecting based on what I read. Like I said earlier,
A lot going on.
like I said earlier, we don't normally shop, but I don't know what's gotten into me. I just bought a backpack. But it's 2 o'clock. 2:15 actually. It's time for lunch.
We've been traveling for over 2 years. We've bought exactly 0 souvenirs. Today, we have bought a blanket and a backpack.
We should probably mention that we did not buy this bag at the shop above the tannery.
The same bag at that shop was 3 times as expensive.
So if you're coming here and you want to buy something leather, probably best to shop around a little bit. So today is not actually our first day here in Fez. We were here yesterday, but it was Friday, which is Holy Day here. And so we came into the Medina and it was empty. It is
Nearly every shop was closed.
But it is crazy to see it now, with the streets being packed versus yesterday when there was no one here.
We've come back up towards the Blue Gate. There's all these restaurants. Admittedly, we've already eaten here and we know it's really good.
We started out with some lentil soup that we ate in about 5 seconds. And now we have a chicken tagine and a veggie tagine and a salad. And it looks delicious. And we know it's delicious because, like we said, we ate it yesterday. Oh, and mint tea.
Ooh! Shukran.
Thank you so much.
Look at this chicken. Let's just go over. Thank you so much. Yes.
You're welcome.
We love Fez.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The people here are so nice.
They really are. Hey!
We just came into one of the other madrasas here, and it's amazing how busy it is on the streets. And then you come in here, it's just peace. So quiet comparatively. Also, this one's beautiful.
Okay, so for the majority of today, we've pretty much stuck to the main road and avoided getting lost. But this afternoon, we're gonna try our hand at some of the more narrow alleys. And the owner of our riad actually told us, if you wanna go down the narrow roads, the really narrow roads, that you should only go in for about 100 meters and turn around and come back out the exact same way you went in. Otherwise, you're finished.
That was a direct quote. You're finished. I think this was the kind of alleyway that our guest house host was referring to. If we wanted to go down something like this, only go in for 100 meters and then turn back around and go out the same way.
I definitely get what he means. You would think that this is under a roof, but it's not.
That is the sky.
Google just told us to take the pedestrian overpass, whatever that means.
Yeah, I definitely would not count on Google Maps.
This is not a place for GPS to tell you where to go.
They say that locals who are born and raised here are really the only ones who can actually navigate through this Medina.
I
With
believe
9,000 streets, though. I don't know how anybody could.
Currently in a bit of rush hour traffic. Not sure if we're gonna make sunset. There's a bit of a log jam back there with a mattress. I have no idea where we're going.
No fear, because our guest house host drew us a paper map.
We're definitely not getting lost with this. I don't see how this could go wrong. Okay, Jess is in the lead, showing us the way. Jess, please tell me why you know we aren't lost.
I recognize those olives back there.
She recognized the stall of olives.
Maybe it was a different olive stall I was remembering.
What about this carpet? You recognize this carpet?
Because we definitely have not been on this street before. And no, we have not seen all these carpets lining on this wall. It's really pretty though. I would definitely remember all these carpets. All right, I feel like I'm seeing some daylight up here. I no doubt officially know where we are.
We went in at 9 a.m. and we're coming out at 6. That was an all-out assault on the senses. There's only one last thing to do. We've come just above town to watch the sunset over the Medina.
This is a crazy view.
I think if we would have come here before exploring inside the walls, it would have been really intimidating to see just how much of a maze this place is.
It hardly looks like you would even be able to navigate in there. All of the buildings are so close together.
It is just a sea of buildings.
Yeah. Like you wouldn't believe that there are streets looking at it from up here. It is huge though. I would say we did a tiny little fraction of this place. I have no idea what we saw and didn't see, but...
The Blue Gate is up here at the top of the hill. And I know for certain we walked all the way down past the university. The leather tannery is somewhere around there.
There's some olives somewhere in there too.
Oh yeah, the olives. They're right there. For sure, right there. You can't even really make that up. She literally turned to me with 100% seriousness and said, "Oh, don't worry. We're good. I recognize these olives."
I really meant it.
I almost lost it.
I really recognized the olives. I mean, it turned out that they were not the right olives.
100 meters later, she goes, maybe those weren't the same olives.
What a day. What a cool city.
This really is a cool city. What an experience. All we did was walk around today. We bought a few things. We were completely talked into buying a blanket. Jess wanted to take a quick shot of a few rugs hanging on the wall. Next thing you know, we're on a rooftop looking at a loom. They laid out no less than 30 rugs. As we got up to
so bad.
As we got up to start going towards the door, they were just laying them out in front of us so we couldn't leave. I wonder what's going to be next here in Morocco. Maybe some sand?
I know.
Maybe a camel?
Stick around. This place feels like home.
I don't think there is anything better than coming back to the peace and quiet of the courtyard of Riyadh after such a long day of exploring in that Medina.
This guest house
It's perfect.
10 for 10 on this. We will put the name in the
Probably
description.
somewhere right here.
Or yeah, on the screen, because some of you don't even know that there is a description.
Lucky man.
Thank you.
What do you say?
Lucky man.